I'm sitting in this abandoned diner, eating beans from a can that expired 3 years ago, and all I can think about is how Jerry from accounting ended the fucking world. Day 847 since the glow, and I still can't find a decent burger anywhere. The police sirens outside have been going for hours, automated at this point since there's not enough cops left to actually drive the cars. Or maybe it's just Bob from the precinct, still showing up to work because nobody told him civilization ended. You want to know how we got here? Most people think nuclear apocalypse happens because of war, maybe terrorists, possibly aliens with daddy issues. Nope. It was Jerry fucking Nakamura, safety engineer at Kashiwazaki-Kariwa nuclear power plant, who decided to skip his morning briefing on March 15th, 2024, because his girlfriend dumped him via text. Apparently, she wrote, "It's not you, it's me," which technically became true for everyone when Jerry ignored 17 different warning alarms while stress-eating convenience store sushi and crying over his keyboard. One missed protocol meeting, one ignored faulty valve warning, one very bad day for literally everyone on Earth. 6 billion people became 3 billion in about 47 minutes. The rest of us are still dying, just slower and with significantly worse Wi-Fi. I head out to the old strip mall because I need bandages and maybe some expired Advil for the headache that's been my constant companion since democracy died. The pharmacy's been picked clean except for the stuff nobody wants, like fungal cream, laxatives, and an entire shelf of homeopathic remedies that somehow survived nuclear fallout, which pretty much proves they're completely useless. I find some gauze behind the counter and notice fresh claw marks on the metal shelving. Deep gouges, way too big for dogs or cats, definitely too organized for your average radiation-drunk raccoon. Rule number 1 in this new world: you see claws, you leave immediately. Rule number 2, always check expiration dates. Rule number 3, never trust anyone who says they're building community, because they usually mean preparing to eat you. There's a Fed outside that makes my skin crawl in ways that expired beans never could. I draw my revolver and creep toward the sound, expecting raiders, government relocation specialists, or maybe just another survivor having a mental breakdown in public. Instead, I find some blonde guy doing yoga on a mat in the middle of a radioactive parking lot, completely zen while sipping what looks like a protein shake. He's actually humming, like we're at some overpriced spa instead of standing in the middle of nuclear wasteland where the air tastes like pure ass. Are you fucking kidding me right now? I ask, gun still drawn, because honestly, this might be the weirdest thing I've seen since the glow. And I once watched a guy trade his left kidney for a can of Spam. Are you seriously doing yoga right now? Language affects mindset, he says without breaking his pose, speaking in that annoyingly calm voice that wellness coaches do to make you feel bad about your life choices. Negative energy attracts negative outcomes. Also, this parking lot has excellent natural lighting for morning stretches, and the radiation levels are only moderately lethal. He finishes his downward dog like we're in some bougie fitness studio instead of standing next to cars that glow faintly green at night, then pops up with the enthusiasm of a golden retriever who just discovered tennis balls exist. I'm Jack Martin, former wellness coach to the stars, well, former stars since most of them are dead now, current survivor and part-time motivational speaker to myself. Proper nutrition is even more critical now than before the event. Are you getting enough protein? You look a little pale, but that might just be the radiation poisoning. I stare at him like he's grown a second head, which honestly wouldn't be the strangest mutation I've encountered this week. Tuesday, I met a guy with functioning gills, which actually seemed pretty useful until he mentioned they only worked in contaminated water. Lola Chen, former food blogger, current, this. I gesture at my entire existence. The gun, the expired bean stain on my shirt, the general air of barely controlled desperation mixed with aggressive hunger for carbohydrates. Food blogger. Jack gets as excited as a pre-apocalypse suburban mom discovering a new target. That's fantastic. What was your niche? Clean eating? Fusion cuisine? Please tell me you have experience with foraging because I've been living off protein powder and questionable mushrooms for 2 weeks, and I'm pretty sure I hallucinated a functioning Starbucks yesterday. I reviewed restaurants in San Francisco, I tell him. My biggest concerns were whether the foam art was aesthetically pleasing and if the servers were pretentious enough. Turns out none of that matters when your main food groups become expired, possibly poisonous, and still moving. Ah, the classic apocalypse diet transition, Jack nods sagely. I've been trying to maintain my macros, but it's challenging when your primary protein source is rats and your vegetables are weeds that might be edible or might make you shit blood. Speaking of which, do you know anything about those berries growing near the gas station? They're either blueberries or some kind of mutant death fruit, but they taste surprisingly good with protein powder. The glowing ones, they glow? Jesus Christ, have you been eating radioactive berries for 2 weeks? That would explain the energy levels and why my urine has been unusually bright. He pauses thoughtfully. Also why I can see in the dark now, which has actually been quite helpful for midnight scavenging. I'm about to tell him exactly where he can stick his wellness routine when I notice something that makes my blood run cold. The same claw marks from the pharmacy are carved into the side of a delivery truck behind him, except these ones are fresh. And they're bigger, like something the size of a small car dragged its claws down metal just for fun, bigger. We need to move, I tell him, already backing toward my escape route because I've learned that in this world, paranoia keeps you breathing. Oh, those, Jack says, casually packing up his yoga mat with the efficiency of someone who's clearly done this dance before. Yeah, they show up every few nights. I call them my workout motivation. Nothing gets your heart rate up like mysterious predator markings appearing. Overnight, you've been doing yoga next to fresh beast claw marks. Beast marks add an element of danger to my routine. It's like extreme yoga. Also, I may have been slightly delirious from the berry situation. That's when we hear it. A low howl that doesn't sound like any animal I know. And I grew up with 3 dogs, 2 cats, and a parrot who learned to swear from my dad. The sound is wrong on every level. Like someone took a wolf's howl and mixed it with a dying car engine and the screams of customer service representatives. It's coming from the direction of the old shopping center, where the elite have been hoarding water and canned goods behind razor wire and armed guards who ask if you have an appointment to die of dehydration. Those weren't there yesterday, Jack says, pointing at the claw marks with the kind of casual observation you'd use to comment on someone's new haircut. Neither was that smell, I reply, because there's something new in the air, metallic and organic. Like blood mixed with ozone and that weird smell that comes from microwaving fish in the office break room. And why are you so calm about this? Mindfulness meditation. Also, I may have developed some kind of radiation-induced Zen state or brain damage. The symptoms are surprisingly similar. Whatever made those marks is close and it's hungry. In this new world, everything's always hungry. The survivors, the government remnants, the mysterious things that go bump in the night and leave claw marks the size of dinner plates. But the scariest part isn't that something's hunting us. The scariest part is that it seems to be getting smarter, leaving marks and patterns, targeting specific locations. Almost like it's trying to tell us something. So, Jack says, shouldering his backpack with practiced ease, want to team up? I've got protein powder, questionable survival instincts, and an unshakable belief that positive thinking can overcome anything, including potential disembowelment by unknown creatures. Do you have any actual survival skills? I ask. I can do yoga in hazardous conditions. I know 17 different ways to prepare protein powder, and I once talked a corporate executive down from firing his entire marketing department which seems relevant to our current situation of trying not to die. Looking at him, this absurdly optimistic, possibly brain-damaged former wellness coach who's been eating radioactive berries and doing yoga next to monster claw marks, I realize he might just be crazy enough to help me survive this hellscape. Plus, anyone who's made it 800 plus days without losing their mind completely clearly has something going for them, even if that something might just be spectacular delusion. Fine, I tell him, but we're finding some real food first. And if you try to make me meditate, I'm feeding you to whatever made those claw marks. Deal, but I get to keep talking about nutrition. We'll see how long you last.